Hello, everybody, and welcome to Week 10 of NFL Big Pick 4, the show where the sports picking experts, Brian and Dan, will give you the top 4 picks for Sunday's, what day is it? For Sunday's NFL games, to include the Big Dan guarantee and the Big Brian guarantee, followed by a new feature, which is the Big O, where I will bless one of the 4 picks, either 2 combined, or the Big Dan or the Big Brian, as the Big O speak. So, as always, of the show with a little bit of a recap of last week, and for all you non-experts there, the Big Pick 4 experts were 3 out of 4. They were 1 point short of going 4 out of 4. So
that's right.
That is some expertise working for you, the NFL fans and bettors of the world. Any comments on Week 9?
Yeah, the Cowboys can kiss my ass. Yeah, never using them again. That was terrible. Couldn't beat the Seahawks by. You got to give that fake touchdown there in the fourth quarter.
My only, me and Dan talked about this earlier. I guess my only comment is everyone, the Vegas odds makers, are supposed to be geniuses, but that Patriots line last week, that was stupid. I was thinking of the Patriots 9 points against a good team. I think the Giants are underrated. Giants are a good team. That's my comment. Is the Vegas odds makers aren't as good as all the time as everyone says they are.
Yeah, that was an easy pick. You guys would be a close game. Yeah, and they tried to avoid it. So yeah, that was solid, that pick.
Yeah, straight up win, low hanging fruit, and that's why we're here to get people rich betting on these games when the Vegas bookies odds makers screw up.
Yes, and only will you get the expert opinion to catch such a screw up only on Big Pick 4.
That's right.
Is it like that fun?
Yeah. Harlow show during the show.
I'm here to get your low hanging fruit every week. I think I think our picks are going to start moving some lines in Vegas.
Especially the Big O. Especially the Big O.
The Big O.
In trouble.
These guys, the bookies are going to be going, did you hear the Big O? Did you hear the Big O? There goes the line.
Yeah. I'm sure Stan Rosenthal is watching the game.
Hey, Scott, we weren't going to mention it on the show, but me and Dan read an interesting article in the Metro today. It talked about games that move from 7 points, like if they start on Tuesday. Wait. Yeah, you got that push in there, man. Oh, come on, take the push out. It's 20
push.
It is 20-6 to our audience out there. My brother is an idiot, and it's 20-16. That is a win.
Yeah, he moved the line on us.
My brother moved the line in the middle of our show. That is a win. That Raiders game is a win.
It was like a 6, and my 7, if I'm not mistaken.
That was a push. The Bengals.
No, come on. No, Scott. Seriously. Scott, be a man. That was
Stop riding the cotton pony, Brian.
No, Scott. Scott, no, I'm being serious, man. Stop, you know what? No, this is bullshit because once we start the show, you cannot change the line. When we went under that show, it was 6.5. We went into the show, we went on to BetUS, it was 6.5. Once we start our show, that is it. There are no changes. it does not matter what Vegas does in that 45 minutes of our show or 30 minutes of the show.
Yeah, that's
bullshit. That is bullshit.
Hey, Dan. Hey, Dan, I want to show you when Brian was backup quarterback. This is what his hands looked like when they were under center. They were like. He had the Phil Rivers technique.
That was a joke. Hey, go back to the drawing board on that one.
Oh, he was doing a little of this too.
Yeah.
Just like when he got teabagged over at the rugby event.
Yeah. He's so nice man. Hey, Scott, you better not pull us out because I heard some stories about your hazing at West Point, so let's not go there, my friend. I think I remember a story of you being tied up in a shower in your boxers. I think your boy told us that story.
I think they've been on a long time ago.
All right, so as always, we kick the show off with the Badge of the Week. Keep in mind that at the end of the season, there will be the Badge Award presented to the Badge of the Year. Let's have it, Dan.
Okay, my Badge of the Week this week is Redskins coach Mike Ratface Shanahan. Because the whole team was this week. After the game, and also the 49ers, so I might add here, are a far superior team than the Redskins. Redskins stick. Yeah. No real starting running back, no real starting quarterback. Packer offensive line is out. The defense has 2 good players and everybody else. I mean, they stick. There's no go-to receiver. They have Santana Moss, who's 40 years old, and
he's been hurt.
Yeah, he's been hurt. He's out with a broken hand with some other clowns who no one's ever heard of. And they traded away all their draft picks. I mean, this is why they stink from year to year. Anyway, he said that after the game, he questioned whether or not his team actually had talent. He said, "Isn't there talent in this locker room?" I'm not sure. Let's see if we can find it. I mean, the pitcher complaining like that. That's publicly about your team. This is the locker room. So he is this week's Badge of the Week.
We had a discussion earlier. We're going to give the runner-up this week to DRC of the Eagles for his awesome tackling. He reminded me so much of Dick Buckets watching him against the Bears.
Yeah, they're pulling.
I think there was one tackle where he just grabbed the guy's shirt like a flag and then let him go.
They didn't even try.
Yeah, this isn't flag football DRC.
Yeah, nice job.
Ryan keeps trying to steal the Badge of the Week. With his own Badge of the Week.
No, as you recall, I manned up last week and gave myself the Badge of the Week award.
Yes.
Be you moron.
All right. So let's have the first combined pick, Week 10, presented by Big Dan.
All right. Our first combined pick is Baltimore at Seattle. Baltimore is favored by 6.5 as a road favorite. Seattle has Tavares Jackson and Charlie Waiters at quarterback. I mean, really, I guess the Baltimore defense is just terrific. I don't think that's a winning combination. Seattle has scored 15 points a game. Baltimore's 2-0 against the NFC West. They blew out St. Louis in their last NFC West road trip game. They blew out like 37-3. Seattle gets up over 110 yards a game on the ground, so they should have a good day. They're 0-3 in the last 3 games, being outscored 63-28, and they've racked up 29 penalties in those 3 games. So Seattle's been bad on defense and very sloppy. For all those reasons, and that Baltimore's coming up with an emotional win over Pittsburgh, and Joe Flacco looked much better than he had in previous weeks. And because of the support of Seattle's offense and defense, I believe Baltimore's going to win this game easily by a touchdown, if not more.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion. I agree. That's your call. It's a judgment call.
I would only like to, just as Dan, I'll pretend to be a objective fan here.
Yes.
What would you say if someone said, well, Seattle plays really well at home?
I would say they got blown out by Cincinnati. It's going to be from 4-12, and that's home game.
Well said. Well said. All right, we're up to me, Scotto.
Yeah, combined pick number 2.
Combined pick number 1 is the Ravens. Seahawks pick Ravens. Combined pick number 2. Brian, let's have it.
I'm going to take Jacksonville -3 at Indy. Some of the things that I wrote down here, I have here that number 1, I have here Alex Clark is out for the game. I think that's a big loss. I have here that Indy has only averages 14.2 points per game on offense. Their defense allows 32 points per game, and they give up 406 yards rushing, which is some of the worst in the NFL. The one big key stat for the whole game, I think, is that Jacksonville runs the ball a lot with Maurice Jones-Drew. People might want to point out that Gabbert is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league right now, but when you go but when you go against the Indies defense, they allow 146 yards rushing per game. So I think Jacksonville can just hand the ball to Maurice Jones-Drew all day. I also have here that Indy defense has allowed 11 rushing TDs. That's the most in the NFL. And I also have here that they're 30th in sacks. So even though Gabbert doesn't really throw the ball very well, he's not a great passer, he has a lot of time to throw the ball. Probably a lot of play action. But I just want to end my common pick by probably me more than Dan. I like to talk about morale of the teams. Dan pointed this out earlier today that Indy was pretty much giving up on the coach. They've given up on the season. It's a -3. It's a really low spread. I mean, even though Jacksonville's offense isn't very good, I think that Jacksonville is easily going to cover -3. I just think Indy's kind of throwing the towel. I'm not saying I'm going to bet against them for the rest of the year, possibly. And then maybe I'll end up, I'll just say one last thing. They're 0-5 against the spread in the last 5 games. But basically the reason to pick it's not pro Jacksonville pick. This is a mandate against how bad Indy is. So there's my pick, my second pick, or our second, me and second pick.
Well, how long is it going to go that Indy's not going to win a game? I mean, are you going to ride that bandwagon?
I don't know. Dan made that point that I can tell you Matt Ryan story real quick.
Yeah, Matt Ryan I guess his foot's still hurt a little bit from the Lions game. So the fourth quarter, then goes to the locker room. And it was up by so much from 31-7 in that game. They know Indy's just going to give up and roll over. So they took some of their players out. Indianapolis stinks.
Yeah, I thought that was a good
their
story.
passion. They seem to be getting worse every week. The coach has no control of the team right now. They don't believe in him, and I don't think they want to win for him either.
Yeah, I thought that was I really think a big, when I pick my game, I like to talk about morale, if I can. If something jumps out at me. I think last year, I brought up, and I don't know if Dan was on the show, but I brought up how T.O. is a distraction in the locker. I think morale is important. Obviously, you're going to have statistics. You're going to have offense statistics, defense statistics. You're going to have injuries. But to me, also, morale is very key. And I think a lot of people who bet on football don't think about morale. So, anyway, that's my second pick. And, I guess we're ready for the commercial.
So you were talking about injuries?
Injuries from the game. Talk to the trainer. Next.
All right.
Mike Ryan.
That's what we got to say about injuries.
That's right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to now take a break from our sponsors.
So what are you doing tonight? Nothing.
Do you want to go to a party with me?
Yeah.
And we could just go to my place before and hang out.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Hold on.
Oh, I thought you were talking.
You can't always be smooth, but your beer should be. With a specially lined can to seal in the taste, Keystone Light is always smooth, even when you're not.
I'm really sorry about what just happened.
Oh, that's cool. I feel embarrassed.
Just a second.
Oh, man.
How to get me a cool one.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to have my man violation later on, but I'm going to give an honorary man violation to my friend Dan here, who he never get 2 beers that have been sitting in his refrigerator for months, and he won't let me have them, Brother Scott. So
This is too good for him.
he gets an honorary.
I promise him if I another case of beer tomorrow, so he can take that violation back.
So there you have it. We're back with an honorary man violation. Beers is sitting in refrigerator. Man violation.
Yeah, for months, but they're good beers.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Returning and seeing beers, the same beers in fridge. Yes, man violation.
Two beers cost the case of beer that's fine.
or my brother. Heels and Bush.
Yeah. What's that? Screws?
Yes.
Okay, so now moving into the first guaranteed pick of Week 10, presented by Big Dan.
All right. My guaranteed game is the New York Giants at the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are favored by 3.5 points. The 49ers this season are 7-0-1 against the spread. The fifth is fly all across the country for this game. Even though the Giants have played pretty well. I'm thinking the 49ers. They allow only 14 points a game, whereas the Giants allow 23 points a game. San Francisco only allows 70 yards rushing a game, which is the main part of the Giants' offense. So Sheila can do the play action. But they're without Ahmad Bradshaw. It's going to be Brandon Jacobs. So it'll be interesting to see how he holds up 2 weeks in a row. It's already that kind of workload. Both teams are hot. I think both teams want to reach 4 in a row. The Giants have been for the longest winning streak in years in this game. Well, I'm sorry, the 49ers are. I think the longest winning streak is 1992 if they win this game. One part I thought was interesting was the conference record against the NFC competition. New York Giants 23-2 versus the conference, whereas San Francisco is 5-1. Now I understand part of that's against their own division, which is absolutely terrible. But they played some other teams and they held up well. And it's a home game against San Francisco. If this is in New York, I would take the Giants in this game. But because they're home, and because they do a good job of stopping the run, I think the 49ers will win this game.
All right, folks, so there you have it. The Big Dan guarantee. You're going against the Giants, was that it?
Yeah. Picking the 49ers because they're at home. Yeah, so
You are out. Last week, Sheila is his boy, and now Sheila is on the outs all of a sudden after 1 week of play.
It's all about the matchups. I believe the defense case, and I thought the Giants could win that game. In this case, the 49ers don't get a lot of points, and they play good defense. You know, defense travels anywhere and can go anywhere. And I think they have a great chance of doing a nice job on the Giants, especially since Bradshaw now. And who knows how, what's his name, Jacobs is going to do 2 weeks in a row. There's a reason why the Giants usually make him the second guy in. So I like to see what happens with him. That'd be an interesting matchup.
So we're now on the real love train, which is the Niners.
Yeah, they're 7-1 against the spread this year.
I think we had a fake love train last week for Week 9. So
Scott, you have a happy trigger with the love train, man.
Yeah, but I was the crickets.
what are you talking about? Love me some Love Train, baby.
Hey, Coors Light, your choice this week there. Yeah, nice. Where they got screws.
And it's not cold either.
Oh! Mountain Dark Blue.
That's a bad violation.
Mountain Dark Blue.
All right, so let's have the big Brian guarantee for Week 10.
My big beat for Week 10 is going to be Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh at Cincy. Pittsburgh through by 3.5. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I wrote down here a lot of stuff. Some of the stats here that I wrote down that I like is that the Cincinnati defense, even though they are one of the better defenses in the league, they're 10th against the pass, and Pittsburgh is 8th in the NFL. Their passing offense is rated 8th in the NFL with Roethlisberger. And in the last 3 weeks, Roethlisberger's thrown for over 350 yards. I also have here that Cincinnati is only 17th in the league on defensive sacks, so Roethlisberger will probably have time. Also, Cincinnati's offense is only ranked 22nd. They're going against the third best defense in the league. And this, I definitely, one of the things I like to do when I talk about the Steelers is I like to talk about Dick LeBeau, who Dan would say that that's one of my many name crushes. He's an amazing defensive coordinator. I think he's going to blitz. He's going to confuse Andy Dalton. I know Andy Dalton has played well. We actually just heard downstairs that against Dick LeBeau, rookie quarterbacks in Dick LeBeau's like 30-year career or whatever, he's only lost to 2 rookie quarterbacks in his career. They're going to confuse Andy Dalton. And I also have here that the Steelers have won 7 of the last 8 games against the Bengals. And I guess, lastly, I think what goes under the radar, not to take away any credit to the Cincinnati Bengals, who have played really well this year, as I also heard today, Rodney Harrison brought the same point up, is that Cincinnati has a weak schedule. They play a last-place schedule. They've only, of their 6 wins, they've only beaten 2 teams with winning records, and those are the Titans and Buffalo, and they're not exactly world beaters. So for all those reasons, I definitely think it's going to be a tough game. Cincinnati defense is good, but I just think Pittsburgh knows how to win, and they're also going to be angry after that loss to the Ravens. So take Pittsburgh, minus 3.5. I see it being a low-scoring game, but I see Pittsburgh winning somewhere in the neighborhood of 16-10 or something like 20-16 or 20-17, somewhere in that ballpark, some low-scoring game.
We're going to win by more than that.
Well, no, just the point is low-scoring game. It's going to be a low-scoring game, but they're going to win by more than 3.5.
3.
No, 3.5.
I'm raising the stakes right now. This is a poker game. I'm shoving my chips to the middle of the table. I'm raising the ante. Anybody wants in, get in. Anybody wants out, get out.
All right, there you have Week 10, big Brian guarantee. So your 2 guarantees are in the books for Week 10. Brian, do you have a man violation for Week 10 other than the consolation man violations we've had thus far in the show?
Last week, I'd have to admit it was a pretty weak man violation. It was a last-minute thing. I took it from a Miller Lite commercial about man laws. But this week, I think is good. It's a solid man violation. For this week, for Week 10, man violation is any person, man or woman, but it's usually a man, wearing a jersey with their own name on the back. You see a lot, especially, I go to Flyers games, Eagles games. It's always an Eagles jersey. It looks like a real Eagles jersey. And on the back, it'll have some schmuck's last name, like they play on the team. Some number. Forrest Smith. Yeah, number 8, O'Haron for the Eagles. Yeah.
What if it's a chick with a pink jersey with her name on it?
It's a violation. It's
still a violation. All right, so man violation for Week 10. Now we have the new feature, the Big O, which is short for the big one. This Week 10, the Week 10 big one, let me preface this by saying that I was born in Cincinnati. I'm sorry, Paul Brown. Sorry. But the Week 10 big one is the Steelers. I saw a Steelers Bengals game in Cincy. There was half the stadium of Steelers fans. There was people walking into the stadium with a cutout of a bus. Back in the Jerome Bettis, what's that? The bus days, right? They had a cutout of a bus. There was like 4 people with their arm hanging out of a cardboard bus walking into the stadium. and I was in Cincy at a Bengals game. You've got a rookie QB going against a rookie QB who won the Super Bowl, did he not, in his rookie year?
Rob.
So so the Bengals' week schedule, which Brian, I don't think you mentioned in your analysis.
I did.
Yeah.
If you stop drinking, maybe pay attention.
Never. Just like my aunt used to say, little baby Rosanna, Dana. Never mind. Oh, those were 2 different characters, but the never mind and the Rosanna, Dana weren't even the same character.
I'm trying to remember.
But anyway,
70.
so that's the big one for Week 10 is the Steelers.
Hey,
Sorry, Big Dan.
I was just gonna say, hey, is this biased here? Is this family biased?
It's not biased.
No, he gets his own town. It's Cincinnati.
Yep. It's totally unbiased, but Big Ben and the boys are going to roll in. They want to jump out early because they know that the Bengalis they want to try to stay in it to jump ahead in the fourth quarter and pull out a win. So the Steelers are going to come in early with a heavy passing game, and it's going to be ugly at halftime.
Wow.
So there you have the big.
Hey, Scott, isn't your bookie on the other line? Aren't you going to place your bet?
Well, actually, I got a call from my bookie earlier today. I recorded the phone call.
So if you got the crosshairs, you got the laser, you put it right on my chest. I'll take full responsibility.
Yeah. If you want to crown them.
Yeah, that was a call from earlier.
You new sound guy.
Yeah. Excuse me. Me and Dan would like to put an ad out for a new sound guy. My brother's horrible. The sound effects don't even match the context of the situation.
After these guys are guaranteed us up in the cricket.
Well, when I called them earlier, this is the recording from the phone call actually earlier when I called Brian and Dan.
Hey Dan, can we join the trend and outsource the sound guy?
Yeah. That's not it. It's $3 a month.
What'd you say? Outsource the sound guy?
I told you not to be stupid, you moron.
So there you have it, folks. The Week 10 NFL picks from the experts are in, and let's review the picks, please, if we may. The Week 10 picks. Any final comments from the sports picking experts?
No, my final comment is I like your idea about the Big O. I think that adds to the flavor of the show.
Like the element.
Yeah,
it's good.
I like that.
I also believe these are all solid picks.
I was going to ask if we wanted to do kind of a Jimmy the Greek theme where we could have Danny the Jew and Brian the Mick.
I like that. That's cool. I like that.
The structure of their muscles.
You bring the ethnicity, like the ethnic.
I'll be Brian the Mick.
Brian the Mick.
I'll be Brian the Mick.
He believes the whole crowd in it.
I do.
That's right. We're Brian the Bald.
In my room.
We're Brian the Bald.
Bald is beautiful.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work, Brian the Bald.
I think I'm gonna. I think I might have an OSHA violation here from working on this job. The glare off of Brian's head is blinding me. I think I might have to wear like dark glasses next week on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always.
Wait, hey, Scott, I got an announcement before we end the show.
Nice.
Me and Dan on next Friday, we have a work event. We're going bowling, so we're not going to be able to start the show until like 8:30. Next Friday, the show won't start till 8:30.
Well, yeah, it takes them a while to install the bumpers on the gutters. Show up.
We'll go to Brian and King off, and then we're going to put it on the lane. And we're going to helmet. I told Brian something about Mary. I know how everything has to do.
Oh.
That was a good one.
I think this show needs to be edited. I think we pushed the limit.
I think your Jerry Sandusky joke was yeah.
That was pretty bad.
No, I think that one is falling on the cutting room floor. Actually.
Yeah.
Well, I might have to be Mike McQueary next week and stay away from the show.
Oh, come on, man.
No.
You're going to do the show from a press box?
You're going to ban in the stadium.
So, as always, go out, place your bets. I'm trying to think of some shtick for, the amount of money you should spend on this, this week. Where do you get the money from? I mean, melt down your gold. Go to one of those rip-off joints where it's like cash for gold. Take grandma's engagement ring, melt that sucker down.
Max out your credit card.
Yeah, max them out. As always, go out and
score with Big Pick 4.
Yes, sir.